always want to make sure you wear gloves. You can't see it, but we've got door protection. Here I've done some samples. I've got the white with black marbling effects. This one, kind of a white with a black mix. And this is the look that I'm going for. This is the coffee with black and bronze. And this is just one that I've tried out for my daughter's bathroom countertop. You know, she likes the turquoise, and I got some bronze in there. A little bit of black effects. Regular wood like this into something like that. But just so you have an idea, let me show you my bathroom countertop that I was able to do. I'm still working on the vanity. But that's the countertop. That's the countertop that I worked on. Since it came out pretty good, I got the idea to go ahead and fix these end tables. You don't need a lot of it, just a nice, just to cover the entire face of the wood. You can even just drizzle it on to help it go faster. Put a bead there, a bead there. I like working with the primer bullseye because the odor is not as strong as most primers. And you can pretty much almost get it all in one coat. I go different directions just to help even out the primer. If you get anything in your project, you go ahead and just take that out while the primer is wet. And make sure you get the edges real good. If you have a real porous edge, then you can use something to seal off the edges. But I'm not going to do that at this point. Because I think it'll be okay for this certain project that I don't do it. But it's important that you make sure that all the edges are primered if you decide to seal it or not. At least you get to seal it a little bit with the primer. This is a really neat project. Instead of throwing away those nightstands and spending another $200 or $300 on buying another set, this would be a really neat project to help save some money. And if you can see, it's completely covered. Let me get the camera over here so you can have a better idea. So this is the before, and this is the after. It's completely covered. So I'm going to work on this other one. Speed up the video just a little bit so it doesn't get too boring. This particular primer only needs 30 minutes to set. So I'll see you back in 30 minutes. Alright, it's been about 20 minutes and you can see that they're pretty dry. This paint was on there from when I painted. I cleaned off one of the edges that was too left a small bead on his edge. I have to take that down. It's very important that you do that, because then it won't get any coverage when you put the epoxy on it. For this one, like I said, because these tables are brown, I'm going to use coffee as my base coat. So that's why I use the gray, because since the coffee is already dark, this should cover any. It should cover this gray just fine. I'm also going to be putting some copper highlights and a little bit of black highlights to kind of give it a marble effect at the very end of this project. So when you're mixing your epoxy, you mix part A with part B, which is the hardener, and gives you what you kind of pour out what you need. These smaller portions come in one part for one part, so they're easier for these smaller projects. You get it by the gallon, and you get 1 part for 2 parts when it's the bigger, like the gallon size. So I like to work with this one because I know 1 part for 1's easier to measure. Kind of want to make sure I got enough for both tables, so it'll give me about 1/4 of the bottle. Instead of measuring that, I measure this. When it settles, I know how much. You can tell the difference in the bottles. It's very important that you mix these pretty accurate so you can get enough hardener in. So what you want to do is you want to mix this . This is fairly easy. Once you got this mixed up, you just pour it in beads. You don't have to use it all, in case you just need some somewhere. Just make sure you've got enough. Kind of prime your roller in the cup. Now you don't want to get to the edge just yet. Let it fall off the edge. You want to make sure you get coverage all on your entire project before you start letting it run. You can see how this one's already starting to get marbleized. This is the way it looks before you mix it. You kind of just looks like you didn't know what you were doing. But when everything starts to settle, it starts to come out almost like a marble look. So all of that spotting will go away and it'll give you a lot finer lines. I'm satisfied with the way it is. I hope this inspires you to help get you to do these kind of projects, the very last step to help get any air bubbles out, because it will give you some, when they pop it'll dry and you'll be able to see the base color and it just doesn't look natural. So I just go over with a torch, kind of moderate. You can't see, but it's popping all the little bubbles that's in it. This will need about a day to dry.